Disclaimer: certain extremely sensitive topics are mentioned and referred to in this video. Viewer discretion is advised. Indie horror games are often known for having extremely compact and impactful stories, ones that psychologically mess with the player. A well-known example of this would be Doki Doki Literature Club, where the player is led to believe that the game is a normal dating simulator, but in actuality, it is something much, much darker. This strategy is something that I like to call the false pretense strategy. In short, this strategy basically means that even if the player knows that something strange is happening or is going to happen, that they are still in the dark about the truth until the climax, where the dark twist is revealed. This is where My Eyes Deceive really shines, as it uses your perception of the situation to torture you. This game also does an incredible job of subtly telling you the truth of the story through small hints scattered about. For context, My Eyes Deceive is an indie horror game where you play as a young girl who is placed in an underground shelter by her papa as monsters are ravaging the world and an infection is spreading. However, this girl has been in this shelter all her life, as stated in the game's description. This is all the information that is given to us before the game begins, and we are launched into this heartbreaking story. As soon as the game begins, the text in the top left of the screen instructs you to take your pills. Already, right off the bat, our perception is being taken advantage of, as most people's first instinct is to take the pills and not ask any questions. After all, they're in a prescription bottle, which means that a doctor has determined that they are necessary for us to have. So why ask questions? Right after, the text changes and we are instructed to drink water, eat some fresh food that was placed on the table for us, and wash up. Then we're told to wait for Papa. To pass the time, we have the opportunity to do 3 things: play a simple video game on a tablet, rock a rocking horse, or water the 2 plants in the rooms. That's it. That's all you have. Eventually, Papa does come by, and you have a short conversation with him through the hatch in the floor, where he says that you must take your pills as they prevent you from getting infected by the disease outside, and this is why you must remain inside. He also tells you a story of how he ran into a monster outside. After this, he asks you if you're tired yet. You say yes, as the pills make you really sleepy. The conversation ends with him giving you a diary to write in, so you don't get bored. The day ends with you writing in the diary, and this is where the innocence of the character that you play as is shown. It also highlights how she's scared to go outside. Finally, after writing, you turn to your bed, and with the help of the unknown pills, you fall into a deep sleep. The second part of the game comes into play after this: your dreams. You wake up only to find that everything is coated in a blue light. After you walk around your humble abode for a bit, the floors, walls, and ceilings fly away, leaving only the stairs that lead up to the hatch where Papa spoke to you. When you interact with the hatch, however, the dream ends and you wake up on day 2. What happens on day 2? You do the exact same things. You take your pills, you drink some water, you eat your food, you clean yourself, and you wait for Papa. This is another place where My Eyes Deceive does an incredible job at messing with you, as you unknowingly are being conditioned to believe that what is happening is normal in the game's world and that nothing is out of the ordinary. Your Papa is just protecting you from the world outside. Why wouldn't you listen to him? He is the one that brings you your food. He obviously cares about you and only wishes the best for his daughter, even if that means she has to stay kept away in a basement for a little while. Once Papa shows up, he asks again if you took your pills. After that, he tells you that he ran into a monster, and that they are imitating human voices. He tells you that they mustn't find you, and that no matter what, if you hear anyone but him, you do not make a sound at all. They have a little more conversation, and then Papa asks if you're tired yet, to which you respond yes again. You go write in your diary again, but this time, the first direct sign that something is wrong appears. In the diary, we see that we write, "The world outside is a mess," referencing what Papa said. What does he mean? 2 drawn photos are shown, and we are to select one of the 2. However, these photos are hard to understand what they are, as you, the young girl, don't know much about the outside world. These drawings are your own guesses about what's out there. The left photo appears to have spikes, while the right is a long dark corridor. It doesn't matter which one you choose, as in the end, they both have the same outcome. Once you select one, your diary entry is shown, and you talk about how Papa told you about something called an apple, and that they're apparently very rare. You also say again how you're scared of the outside. You finish your entry, and you go to bed. This time, you do have a dream again, but the setting of the dream is based on which photo you chose. The dream itself is also very hazy and distorted, which makes sense. The young girl has no idea what's outside nowadays. You move along through your dream, with nothing eventful happening until the end, where you come across a white silhouette of what appears to be some kind of fruit. You pick it up, thinking it might be an apple, but when you look up, you see a giant monster towering over you. Then, the dream ends, and you're on to day 3. Nothing changes. You take your pills, drink some water, and follow your routine until Papa arrives. However, this time, Papa doesn't show up. After waiting for some time, you go up to the hatch and call out for him. No one answers. You realize that he's not coming today, and you go and write in your diary about how you're alone and scared, and how you hate it when you're alone. You go to sleep, and you again have another dream. This time, your dream involves you running around a maze of tall walls that lead to dead ends, but when you reach said dead end, the walls behind you change. You run around for a while, and eventually come across a room containing many versions of the stairs that led up to the hatch that is your house. When you traverse your way to the back of the room, a pit waits for you. When you jump in, the dream ends, and you are on to day 6. Yes, that's right. We went from day 3 to day 6. Papa has been gone for 4 days. We wake up, we take our pills, and are forced to eat old leftovers as he hasn't replaced our food. We repeat our routine and wait for him. He never shows. We get agitated and go to write in our diary, and this is where we are presented with a choice. If Papa is not coming home, do I need to take my pills? This choice does matter, as they lead to 2 separate endings. 2 endings that are drastically different. First, we will choose to take the pills. We ask if Papa isn't coming, do we need to take the pills? We say no, we don't, and go to bed. Our dream tonight is a confusing one. We are in another maze, this time with a red hue. However, as we traverse it, we find a chain connecting to the ground that is leading into the sky. We undo the latch, and the screen begins to shake, asking us if we are sure. We move along and undo the next chain. This time, it says we should trust Papa. We move along again and undo the final chain, and we are asked if it is worth it. Then the dream ends, and we move along to day 7. We wake up, and we do not take our pills. There is fresh food on the table, which means Papa is back. We go through our routine and wait for him. When he shows up at the hatch, we ask where he's been. He says that something urgent came up and he apologizes. He asks us if we've been taking our pills, and we lie and say yes. He seems to believe us. As the conversation is ending, he says he brought us an apple, which we promptly enjoy once we lie to Papa about feeling sleepy. Then we pretend to fall asleep. We do not have a dream tonight. Instead, while pretending to be asleep, we hear Papa open the hatch and come down. He asks if we're awake. We don't respond. He says it's time to do this. Then, a doorbell from above can be heard. He curses and goes to check up on it. However, he leaves the hatch open. We get up and go through the hatch once we realize it's open. Upon going up, we see empty hallways with boxes scattered about. Then, we come across a receipt on a table. It's from a pharmacy. It shows that 5 bottles of sedatives were purchased. Then, the young girl we play as asks, "What is sedatives?" Next to the table, we come across a police report that tells us where Papa actually went. He was taken to the station and interrogated about his suspicious purchase of the sedatives. However, No substantial evidence was found. His house was also searched, but the police found nothing. The young girl goes on, and after she goes up some stairs, she exits the basement and heads outside. Once outside, she looks up at the sun. Then she asks, "What is that glowing ball up there? And why does it hurt when I look at it?" The credits roll. With this information, the sad story of the young girl is coming together. This child has never known the outside world. She doesn't even know what the sun is. She has never left the confines of that basement. She's only ever known one person, her papa, and her papa has been giving her sedatives to keep her asleep. However, we're not finished. While we have some information from that ending, there is another ending to be had, and it gives us the final answer we need to confirm any suspicions that we have. When we replay the game and are presented with the option on taking the pills, we select the one where we do take them. Our dream that night is different. The hatch is open in our dream, but when we go up it, we enter back in our room again. When we go through the hatch again, the same thing happens. However, the farther up we go, we see the chains from the other dream when we didn't take the pills. When we go through the cycle a couple of times, on the final level, we are shown a void, and the only thing in the void is the dresser that has our pills on it. When we select the pills, we say, "I trust Papa." At this point, we can connect the dots, and we now know that the chains represent our trust in Papa. In the ending where we undid the chains, that symbolized our trust in Papa breaking. However, in this dream, we kept taking our pills, which means we never lost trust in our Papa. And then, the dream ends. The next day, day 7 comes, and we take our pills. We do our routine, and we meet Papa at the hatch. We have the same conversation as before. We tell him we missed him, and that we have been taking our pills. Only this time, we aren't lying. He gives us an apple, and we eat it. This time, however, we write in our diary about how happy we are that Papa is back, and how good the apple was. Once we're done, we flop in the bed, happy, and fall into a deep sleep. Day 147. We wake up. Everything is hazy. Everything is lucid. We take our pills. We drink water. We eat food. We wash ourselves. We wait for Papa. Papa arrives. We walk up to the hatch. The screen cuts to black. One line of text from the young girl appears. It is a question. "Why is my belly so round and big?" The credits roll. The dark truth finally reveals itself. With this one line of text, we understand what is happening. Papa had kidnapped this young girl when she was an infant and kept her in his basement. While in the basement, he gave her sedatives to knock her out cold so that nothing would wake her up. And while she was asleep, he would sneak down and use her in the most evil and cruel way possible. He did this to this young girl for several years on end. Eventually, after she had been violated and tortured, she is carrying the child of the sick and demonic creature that was hiding under the alias of Papa. And this is where our story ends. No matter the ending, it is all terrible. There is no winning in this game. You, the player, are only left with dread and agony for what you have just witnessed. There is nothing that you could have done to change what happened, and that is why My Eyes Deceive is such a terrifying game. Not only because of the well-crafted story and dark twist that it had, but also due to the horrendous fact that this story, realistically, happens every single day in real life to a real child. And that is a reality that is terrifying beyond comprehension. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this game analysis, albeit a sad and terrifying one. If you would like more game analyses such as this, then let me know in the comments below. I wish you all the best, and please stay safe out there. I'll catch you on the flip side.